How's it going, everybody? I just got back from a concert. This is going to be a different one than other ones I've done. This isn't a Japanese band, but it's not an American band either. So I wanted to do this for a few reasons. One, just recently found out about this band 2 months ago, and just found out they're coming here. They're from the Ukraine. I actually have some Ukrainian in my heritage, I guess. My last name is very Ukrainian, Yankowski. So I was just like, and honestly, I don't really know much about the Ukraine. So when I saw that these people are Ukrainian, I was like, cool, that's cool. Kind of sort of representing my people, but I'm from upstate New York. I don't have an accent or anything, but it's just in my blood, apparently. So if you don't know about Jinjer, I hope I can help. My God, people need to know about this band. There's so much to talk about. Okay, so let's start off with the band Jinjer. They're from the Ukraine, as I said. You would not be able to tell that by, watching their videos and especially hearing their lead singer do her thing. And so this is a metal band, and it is fronted by a very beautiful woman. And I say that for, I hate when people are like, when guys, talk about women entertainers, and, the very first thing or, the second thing is just, she's a very beautiful individual. When it's just, you don't really hear women introduce guys and, he's a good-looking man. I hate that we do that, and I just unintentionally did it. But I'm doing that for a reason. I'm going to talk about that once I talk about them on stage tonight. Why she's a very beautiful woman who has the voice of an angel and also a demon. Essentially how my girlfriend put that. And I like that. She definitely has the voice of an angel and the voice of a demon. She can just go in and out of both. She really demonstrated that tonight. So, talk about their tour. And there's some issues. There's some issues that possibly most of it was due to the venue, which, by the way, it was in Tampa, specifically in Ybor. If any of you know anything about that, it's an absolute shithole, where on one hand you have the homeless constantly on the sides, begging people for money, but then on the other hand you have women in fancy dresses saying things, and I quote, "It's Tipsy Tuesday." And then I walk past the club blaring music where it's talking about pussy popping and all that shit. So that's all in one city, but then you also have restaurants and tattoo parlors and all this stuff. Nothing but bars and clubs. But then you also have the Tampa Improv, which has some of the biggest comedic names do the improv, and, obviously open mic nights and stuff like that, where you have great comedy art. But then you have, I guess, a place like the Orpheum or the Ritz. Is that still a thing? Or they have, artists, music artists displaying their art. So it's I get to see the beautiful thing of a Ukrainian band coming here to play, but then I get to walk in the street and witness all. I hate Ybor. It's a shithole. I fucking hate it. The Orpheum was, I don't really want to vocalize my full opinion on the venue because I'm going to be there in a couple months to see another band. So I don't really want to. Oh, I didn't like the venue. Oh, I really didn't like the venue. To put it bluntly, without having an opinion on whether it was good or bad, other than I just said I don't like it. It's essentially just a bar. It's essentially just a wide open bar, and they have a stage and a balcony, and that's about it. That's about it. I can easily say Jinjer deserved a much, much better venue than this. Oh boy. I hope by me making this video, more people will listen to Jinjer. More people will figure out about. I'm not saying I'm popular or anything on YouTube. I'm clearly not, but apparently people like my concert and album review. So I'm just hoping people go out there and experience Jinjer. Just do it. Okay, so first things first, right off the bat, I need to talk about their opening band. They had some, like, I don't know if it was like a local band, Sumo something, with another female lead singer. They were actually good. They just did a lot of covers. They were actually pretty good. But then, they had this band called The Browning, and oh boy. Aside from a little hiccup, which isn't even worth mentioning, they were actually funny about it, where I guess someone, I think the guitarist, he did something, and it screwed up the set. I pulled a wire or something. I don't know what he did, but he said, "It's my fault, guys. Sorry." It's just like, take two, act like that didn't happen. Fine, it happens. It's whatever. I'm not giving them shit about that. I just didn't think they were good. I'm sorry. I hate being negative, especially in this negative world, but I personally I found myself doing this. What is this? What's going on? What is this? First off, if you're a lead singer of a band, for the love of fucking God, don't constantly be like, alright, everyone get in the pit, do a circle, get up, put your hands in the air. Stop that. I hate when fucking lead singers are like, I need every one of you who paid money to be here to participate in this. I don't, I'm there for a band. I'm not there to, I'm there to enjoy the music. And that's just me. I know people do the pit. I don't care about that. I know people get drunk and high, and you're just like, why do you do that in concerts? Don't you forget everything? I don't understand that. But I'm there to see a band that I like. I'm there to see them in person and perform the music, kind of like headbang to it and just like sing to it. That's just how I like to express. I don't like being told constantly. If it wasn't constant, I wouldn't have as much problem, because it's like, get up, put your hands up. Like the Japanese, the Rookie and the Gazette, they do that every once in a while, but they don't order it every 5 minutes like this guy did. It just was just like, dude, stop it. Especially when Tatiana of Jinjer didn't do that shit at all. A good band can just make that shit happen. But if you have to constantly like, everyone get in the pit, let's do the circle, come on, last chance. He actually said last chance, and then like 3 minutes later, he was like, alright, everyone in the pit. I remember that. I was just like, didn't you just say last chance and now we're doing the pit again? Stop asking or telling. It annoyed the shit out of me. Plus, it annoyed the shit out of me when they would do their breakdowns, and every single one of the breakdowns was just like, I was just like, okay, I'm cutting to get to oh, you stopped. It's just like, alright, another breakdown. Okay, this is sounding good, and oh, you stopped again. Okay. There were so many breaks in their breakdowns, or they would just end it to go to the verse. I was just like, oh my God, I don't like this band. I'm sorry. Oh boy. I wish everyone would do the thing that the Gazette and very few other musicians do, and it's just like, hey, this band's gonna be at this venue, and it's literally just this band. They'll put on a 2-hour show, at least. Thank you. I get it. Opening bands, it's exposure, and all that stuff. I never liked the opening act in any single form of art that I've been to live. I've never, ever, ever found myself being like, that opening act was pretty cool. I'm going to Google who they were. Never done it. Never will. I just don't see it happening. Alright, enough of the Browning. I just didn't care. On to Jinjer. Now, I have a lot of good things to say, so let me get the main negative thing out of the way. Who am I angry with here? Am I angry at the Orpheum, or am I angry at Jinjer's sound mixer? Because the audio was shit. Now, or it was just mixed shitly. I know it's not right, I'm just joking, but it was just not mixed properly. After seeing the Gazette live and just how just top notch their fucking sound quality mixing is, and Baby Metal as well, or at least at the Tabernacle. And I just seen bands where it's just properly mixed. And I've seen, some other lives where it's just like, this was louder than that. And that was the case here. Now, if you like Jinjer, or if you're a really big fan of drumming, this was a great show for you. Oh my god, did you hear the drums? And boy, did you hear the drums over everything else. I would say the drums were at a 10. The bass was probably at a 9 or a 10. The bass was super loud too. The guitar, probably a 7, sometimes an 8. And Tatiana, the lead singer, was at a fucking 5. Because I could barely hear her. Now, the times I could hear her, brilliant. She sounds just as good live as she does on the album. She's able to mix in her angelic singing voice and her awesome singing voice into her super growl, vocal fry, amazing technique. And she could just go in and out. I did see her once. It did seem like a few times she was struggling. I don't know if there's some issues. And like every time they would break in between songs, I would see her. I was off to the side, so I could see like the other side of the stage where they come and leave from. And she would run to the back, grab a thing of water, tighten up her hair. And then it was just like, oh, she's all right. There were some signs where it looked like she was kind of like in pain, or if she was just really passionate. And then I did notice on one of the later songs, like later on in the night, she did like growl, and she had to growl again in a few seconds, but I saw she'd cough. She kind of like, and then went to growling, which is great technique. She were able to growl, hold it off, and and then go back to it. I know from growling in my car and all the times I do it when I'm alone, I know it forces me to cough sometimes. But yeah, she handled it. She's a goddamn pro. She was made to be an entertainer. And going back to what I was saying about how beautiful she is, she's unbelievably a beautiful woman. And that is something I've noticed about Ukraine. One of the few things I know about Ukraine is that some really beautiful people come from Ukraine. My God, yeah. And especially if, she's covered in tattoos, and she was just meant to be an entertainer. She was just meant to grab the fucking spotlight. And it's funny, and I'm sure a lot of the women in there wouldn't admit this, but as soon as she got on stage and she started doing her thing, a song or two in, just how she could able growl and everything, I could see some surprised faces through like the bartenders and some other women there. I saw a lot of angry women faces, angry women in there, and I was just like, you could tell as soon as she got on stage, it's just like, oh, this is the most attractive woman. This is the most attractive human being in this venue. Let's be real here. And you could just see all the women being like, oh, wow, look at her. And just like angry faces. It was just something, I just looked around and saw multiple angry women just looking at Tatiana and just being like, I know why you're angry. I know. There's just very few people in the world who can look as amazing as she does and just steal the spotlight. But, yeah, amazing performance that deserves bigger venues and better sound mixing. The drums were just way too goddamn loud, especially every time he hit the damn snare. It was just piercing. And his double bass drums are brilliant. I mean, feel it. But I said the same thing about Baby Metal. You could feel the double bass drums when he does it, but you can hear everything else also. It was just the sound mixing was bad, and I don't know if it's on the Orpheum in Tampa. And it isn't. I don't like it. I don't like that venue. So I wouldn't doubt it's that, but I don't know. Something needs to be done with that mixing. And it's the shirt I got from him. Amazing quality, by the way. $25. This is like super nice, soft, stretchy shirt. But I was looking on the back and it actually has the tour dates. And my God, they've been touring in like Europe and now doing the North American tour for a while. And they're just going and going and going and going. The tour dates are like, these guys are relentless. They aren't playing easy songs, especially the drummer. Like, as loud as his drums were, they're all amazing musicians. The bassist, the guitarist, the lead singer, the drummer. They're all amazing at what they do. It's just like, they're able to do what they do at such a high quality, a high rate, and they deserve better than little rinky-dink places and shitholes, downtown areas, and they deserve better than this. Please give Jinjer your attention. Please support them. The merch is actually high quality. I actually like it. Let me stand up. I actually like this shirt. And then, that's the tour dates on deck. Great shirt. Wanted to support them. Glad I did. It was just, I wish the sound quality was better. And I think that's pretty much it. I've been ranted about my Ebro experience, the opening band. And Jinjer was fantastic. Oh, okay, one last thing. They played the majority of their songs. Now, they don't have a lot of songs yet. They have a few albums, mini albums. They don't have the biggest, track list of all time. My God, I think they played for a little over an hour and a half. They just went. The breaks in between songs were not really even a thing. They were a minute, if that. They didn't really have an introduction. Actually, they didn't have an introduction. I'm sorry. Some, interesting music played in the background. Interesting in that it was just kind of old-timey. Just kind of, old-timey. That's the only way I can think of it. And then, just one by one, members of the band came out. And then they just started playing. Also, the shortest encore I've ever seen. She was just like, thank you. I could barely hear her, but, she was giving her thanks and all that stuff. And walked off stage, and they're, waiting for an encore because it's still black. And then screaming one more song. I think because bands usually love to make the audience wait 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Fucking hate when they do that. Jinjer made us wait about a minute, maybe a minute and a half. And then just came out, played their most famous song, which is, shut my door, Pisces. And if you haven't seen it, go listen to it. It's also an amazing trick song to be like, no, check out this video. They're Pisces Live, studio version. And if you know Jinjer, you know the song. It has millions and millions of views. And sadly, it also has millions of vocal coaches and people reacting to the video because it's a minute of her singing like an angel, just being great and amazing. But then after that breakdown, and then her demonic voice, and it's just whoa! Had to show my girlfriend that, had to show my mom that. It's a great video to share. So, of course, that was their encore. That was the very last thing they played. The only thing I would say, I didn't expect them to play it. I don't think they'll ever play this live. But they have a song called Beggar's Dance. And I like that song. It's literally just the bass, and a little bit of drum and her singing. And it's just all singing. And it's just an old-timey kind of, I forgot the name of that style of music. Just an old-timey bass song. And it was really good, 2 minutes long. And it's just so out of place with the rest of their hard-hitting music. It's kind of funny. But it's a really good song. And I would love to see these guys again. And I would love for them to play that. But Jinjer, you deserve better. You absolutely deserve better with the amount of work and amazing performance you put in. Jinjer deserves better. Go see them live if they're coming to your town, especially if you're into metal. I hope nothing but good things happen with this band. They seemed very the guitarist and the bassist, there was no backing vocals. It's 100% her. She literally has the only microphone on stage. They seemed like the guitarist and the bassist were just kind of chill. The bassist actually had more energy than the guitarist. And then she kind of came along and was doing all, you could tell she was happy when we were all singing Pisces, and she seemed shocked and happy. And, I saw a wide range of emotions, but she seemed like a very humble human being. And where I was standing, a couple people in front of me, and there was a guy, maybe a young adult, maybe older teenager, who was at the very front, and he was in a wheelchair. as he should be. He should be in the front in the wheelchair. And she saw him. She kind of like bent down and just like shook his hand for a little bit, and like it made his night. Like you could see, and like his father was there, and like she's willing to do that. So that was cool. So all right, don't have much more to say. I think that's pretty much it. I think I got the general idea out there. My overall message is support Jinjer. They're a great band, and who knows what's out there. And it's the first time I've ever heard of a Ukrainian metal band. There might be other great Ukrainian metal bands out there, and just Jinjer's going to be the gateway. Who knows? Support them. They're great. All right, everybody. Have a good night.